So number 1, it says to simplify. Now, in order to simplify, we need to do our order of operations. Something that we haven't looked at in a while, but most of you know it as, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay? So I'm going to work all my grouping symbols first. That's what parentheses or that P stands for. It's not just parentheses, but it's all grouping symbols first. So I have to go inside my brackets and start working inside my brackets. My brackets are right here. So I'm going to start working inside. Then I go in even further inside that. So the first thing that I can do here is 15 minus 3. So I'm going to rewrite it. 3. 15 minus 3 is 12. And I'm going to keep that in parentheses squared. That is a division sign of 4. Keep everything in brackets. Start working, continue in brackets. If I finish those brackets, I'm going to do my exponents first. 12 squared is 144. So I have 3, 144 divided by 4. Now, with multiplication and division, that is your left to right hand rule. I don't just go through and work all my multiplication and then work all my division. I work what comes first from left to right. Now, in this case, it's only division. So I say 144 divided by 4. If I have to, chunk that in the calculator and plug it in. Okay? So what is that? 24? 36. So then I multiply 3 times 36. So my answer is 108. Number 2, simplify. Work inside my grouping symbols first. So I have 2 sets. I have one here and here. Since they have no bearing on each other, I can work those at the same time. So I'm going to say 4 times 20 plus 12 divided by 1. Multiplication and division from left to right. So I'm going to say 4 times 32 divided by 1. Just the order that I would have to work it. I know that's... So you go by the way that you read it. So 4 times 32, 128, divided by 1, and we know any number divided by 1 is itself. That's our order of operations. Number 3, 4 and 5. Talking about solving equations. Undo the operation. We isolate the variable. That's our goal. We'll work some of these the last couple of days. So I have to combine my like terms first. So I have 37 minus 18. That's the first thing I need to do. Correct? And then I'm going to move it across. So what is that? 19 plus 8w is equal to 67. 19 goes across. Anytime we cross that equal sign, it does what? Change its sign. So I'm going to have 8w is equal to, if some of you have to see it like so, write it like so. If you can do all that in one step, by all means, put it all in that one step. So it's 8w is equal to 48. So w is equal to 6. You have to check your work. We can always go back and plug it in. Number 4. Undo the operation. I'm going to add 18. Notice I'm working them different ways for different people. You work it the way you need to. So if I have to subtract, or if I'm given a subtraction, I have to add to both sides. And we have opposite signs. So I have 5p over 7 is equal to a negative 43 plus 18. So I'm going to take the difference of those. So I'm essentially going to say 43 minus 18, which is a negative 25. undo, so I have 5p over 7. I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. It'll cancel. Then I'm left with 5p is equal to a negative 175. Then we divide by 5. So p is equal to a negative 35. You have to plug it in and check. Number 5 says a negative 5y minus 9 equals a negative y minus 1. We need to distribute the negative. So we have negative 5y minus 9 equals a negative y plus 1. All it does is change the signs. We have variables on both sides. We need to get those together. If I add y, it'll cancel here. So I'm left with a negative 4y minus 9 equals 1. If we move that across, we have a negative 4y equals 10. Divide by negative 4. You can leave this as an improper fraction, just reduce it. So it reduces to a negative 5 over 2. And the last one, number 6. Evaluate the expression for the given variables. Now this goes back to really problems like number 1 and number 2. Before we can do anything, though, we are to plug in. Wherever there is an x, okay, if you go back to what has to be done, wherever there is a variable, we have to put a set of parentheses. And whatever our variable is, we're going to plug it in as it is. So that's the way we would have to rewrite it. And we follow our order of operation. So I'm going to say a negative 3 to the third power first. I don't multiply. I have to raise it to that third power first. So remember, if you don't remember, negative 3 to the third over to the side is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which gives us a negative 27 minus negative 3 squared is 9. I'm just going to write the rest of the problem. So essentially I've gotten rid of all my grouping symbols, gotten rid of all my exponents, so now I go from left to right, multiplying and dividing. I have multiplication here and here. Since they have no bearing on each other, I can go ahead and do them at the same step. So we have a negative 2 times negative 27, which would be a positive 54, minus 9, minus 15, because 5 times negative 3, plus 2. And then we go addition and subtraction left to right. So I'm just going to keep walking. 54 minus 9. I'm going to do those first. So that's 45 minus 15 plus 2. Then I'm going to subtract. 45 minus 15 gives me 30. Plus 2, 32 is my solution. So that's your startup for this first week.